So most people think to study abroad, you need a lot of money or it's only for the rich because it's so expensive. But over the past 5 years, I've been studying in Morocco for free without paying any tuition fee, and it has been one of the best experiences in my life. Therefore, in this video, I'm going to share with you how I did all that and my journey to where I am right now. By the way, if you're new here, hello, my name is Astakala Chimwemwe, and I'm a mechanical engineering student studying in Morocco. And on this channel, I record my experience studying abroad as well as sharing the lessons that I've learned in the process. So if you're interested in that, I welcome you, and let's start the video now. So my desire to study abroad started in 2018 when I was in high school. I remember there was this chemistry teacher who came into our class. He talked about his son who was one of the students or one of the people who were selected to study abroad, and it really caught to my attention that I should also study abroad, and I really wanted to be part of that group who was going to study abroad. But the one thing that he mentioned in the process was that I really needed to get good grades for me to be selected to go and study abroad. So what I had to do was to work extra hard and put in all my effort for me to be part of the list of those people who are going to study abroad. And I did all what I could studying and preparing myself for the final year exams. And later I passed and I got the results that were needed for me to qualify for the scholarship. So the following year in 2019, it was in February, my results were out. I received my results and everything that I had, the paperwork that I did. Then as soon as I got the results, the Russian scholarship was released by the Zambian government. But then I didn't have a passport, so I couldn't apply, and there was nothing I could do for that one. So I felt so bad that I really wanted to study abroad, but I didn't have the necessary documents to apply. So what I had to do at that moment, I had to go and start processing my passport. Immediately, I realized that I needed a passport as soon as possible, not to wait for any opportunity, but just to be ready for me to have the passport. So I processed my passport and everything, all the documents that I submitted and every process that went there was just okay. So a few months later, after I got my passport and I was my documents were, I felt like I was ready now to go and apply for my scholarship, and any scholarship that was going to come by then or that was going to be released by the Zambian government, I was ready to go and apply for it. So what had happened was I realized that my documents had an error and I couldn't apply because of that error. So I had to start the process once again. I had to change and correct all the mistakes that I made when applying for the passport, when doing my registration for my Zambian card. And it was just a lot of things were just going in my mind. I didn't know if I was even going to picked, or maybe if the opportunity was going to be there for me to just apply. So it felt like as though it wasn't something going to be possible, because we are trying to do something and there are a lot of things that are coming in your way. But I kept hope, then I kept pushing. I tried, I finished the documents. Luckily, the scholarship was not advertised. It delayed a little bit, and after I did everything, my documents were ready, the scholarship was even released. Then it lasted for just like 2 weeks. That's when I got to apply and I submitted all my documents. Then a few weeks later, I was called by the board that I was picked for interviews. So I had to get ready to travel from my province, that is Eastern, going to Lusaka to prepare and attend my interviews. Then when the actual day arrived, I got ready. I was with my dad. He escorted me. Then I reached the board's place where the interviews were taking place. I entered in the room. Then there were a lot of people, my friends, who were also it was more like a competition. I don't know if it's more like you're going for interviews, but you're competing for places. So you see a lot of people, you get nervous, you get afraid, and being coming from a background where things have a little bit different. Not You've not been exposed to a lot of things. So those were my first interviews. I felt afraid at first, and I started talking to my friends, interacting with them. Then I was called to enter. While in there, I studied everything okay, answering the questions that were asking me. Then something happened that I didn't expect. They asked me a question that I didn't have an answer. A question that I didn't know. Like it's more like it wasn't a question, a general question, but they asked me what are the three types of medicine that you know, and I didn't know anything by then. So I remember when I was going for interviews, my sister had told me to say, if you feel like you don't know anything, if you feel anything that has troubled you, just be honest. Say you don't know, or answer what you understand from the question. Then I proceeded to telling them that I don't know, but I have some things that I think can go in line with this. So I had to explain all those things. And after the interview, I was so frustrated because I felt like I'd lost it now. I went home, talked to my dad, and I was actually with a friend, John. I left him in Lusaka. I told him I'm going back home to Eastern Province because I don't feel like I'm going to make it, and I've made a mistake in the interview. So I talked to my dad. He also said, "Okay, let's go if that's what you want." Then we traveled back to Eastern Province the very day after doing the interviews. Then the second day that I had traveled back home, then I had gone into the bathroom. Then whilst in the bathroom, I received a call on my phone. Then I was surprised. Who is calling me? And it was a new and strange number. They're like, oh. I fast got out of the bathroom, then answered the phone call. It's so funny that I was in the bathroom, then I went out. I answered the phone call, then only to receive that my interviews were successful and I've been picked to start the process to study abroad. I thought something that I was so proud of that I had done for myself. And I rushed telling the news to my parents, and everyone was so happy for me. And everyone became so happy. Like it was something that I really wanted to do, and now that the process has started, I felt so good. Yeah. So I actually remember them telling me that I had to go back to Osaka to do my medicals for the processing to processing my documents to start. And by then I wasn't in a good state. I wasn't okay because of everything that was going around. I felt my mind was just everywhere. Yeah. So I had to travel back to Osaka to do medicals the following day, and everything went well. But I had some news that there was this one of our friends who was picked, but he couldn't travel because his medicals wasn't okay. So it was something that I got afraid of. Like, what could happen if they find something in my report, or maybe I'm sick. I have something that cannot allow me to travel, and I was just afraid because the process is not yet finalized, but you're advancing, and yeah, I knew that things were going to go well. So I just continued doing the things that I wanted to do, continue praying, and everything went okay for the medicals. Then the board called us again to submit our documents so that they could apply for our schools from Zambia, applying to Moroccan universities. And it was also something else that it was something else that I heard that some students, it's possible that they can reject you, or maybe spaces would be out. So there are a lot of things that was going on, and a lot of things that also were going on in my mind, because you feel like you are ready to be there, but then again there's also some things that are ahead of you that you need to conquer, that you need to to get them right. So I had to wait again to get ready for everything. Then everything just went well. The I received the acceptance of going to Morocco for the university, and I was accepted to study at an engineering university. Fast forward, the board had to prepare our documents, and everything was just went well. Then we had to travel from Zambia to Morocco. Then when I arrived, we were so happy. I was actually in the first group to travel to Morocco. Then everything was just well. But then when we came to Morocco, uh, we didn't speak French, so we had to enroll for French lessons for about 8 months. So we started our French lessons. We are learning. Then suddenly in the fourth month, COVID had hit the world, and Morocco was part of the countries that was affected so much by COVID. Then we had to cancel our French language classes. After the classes were cancelled, the school had to organize online classes for us so that we could continue our French language, because we couldn't go into our first year in the university without proper learning French or speaking, communicating in French. So we had to continue learning French online, though it wasn't the best, but at least we were doing something, and we continued until we did our assignments and we finished the French classes. Then after, that's when we had our summer break. Went for summer holidays, and in September of 2020, that's when we enrolled for our first year. I actually forgot to mention that I was with my friends. We were five. We were five who enrolled at Ensa Osema in 2020. And what happened was we enrolled, we did our paperwork at the school, but we couldn't go to classes because COVID was still there. So the classes were online for the first year. And for the first 2 years, those were the toughest and like hard years of studying in Morocco, because it was being in a new country, you've learned a new language. So communicating, I wasn't good at it, and I didn't really understand how I could go about it. Then it was a new educational system, a French educational system, which is very different from the one which is an English one in Zambia. And there's also competition, high competition, because in Morocco, schools are for free. Most of the university schools are for free to enroll, but when it's for free, there's also high competition. So for me to be in school, to be in university, I had to work extra hard. I had to put in my level best, at least, to stay in school and continue studying, continue progressing. So the first 2 years were so tough. I really had to, a lot of things were really tough for me in my first 2 years, but eventually I managed to finish my class preparatory at ENSA, and I proceeded to my third year. So after reaching in my third year, things started becoming so better. Things were easier, and I could communicate. I have adapted by then to the educational system, interact with people, with the locals, and I could travel to different places. So things became better and better until now that I'm in my final year, in fifth year, which is soon to be graduating. I've been proud of the journey so far, and I really wanted to share with you what I've been through and the things that I've been doing abroad. So the key points that I would like you to get from my story, the first one is that most universities in Morocco are for free. So if you're someone who is in a different country, different place, who wishes to study in Morocco, and you know the process, I don't know any process. I would lie that I know any process, but let me tell you, the process was done for me by my government to come here. But most of the universities here are for free, and if you are able to access all that, if you're able to apply and do all the processing, uh, you'll be able to get a good university where you can study your education, you can study your program from. The second thing that I can also share with you is that there is also high competition in schools. Seeing that there is seeing that the schools have free education, free universities, and there's high competition for places. So you really need to work extra hard to get into school, and also work extra hard to keep your place while in school. So there's high competition, and you really need to to at least put more effort. Then the third thing is that the language of communication is French, so you also need to learn the language and get used to also the French education system. They're way different, very different. So you can also do the research about that so that you know the differences between your country, the education system, and the education system that country wishes to go to, maybe of Morocco, if you want to come to Morocco. And the main reason why I really shared my story is that this story, or my story, has encouraged you to pursue your dream, or maybe the thing that you want to do for yourself, for your life. If you want to study abroad, if you want to do something, go for it. There is always an opportunity, and it is possible. And if you'd like to know more about my experience studying in Morocco, studying abroad, the things that I've learned in the process, you can watch this video where I share all my details in that video. And thank you for watching and reaching this far. I hope this video helps.